They pushed that for political purposes. No shit! Systemic change. That requires politics. Says who? Have you ever looked at crime statistics? Oh, believe me, I know that you're going to put your finger to your chin and go, 1350. 9 whites killed by cops. Okay? Do you not see the problem with that number? If they did all that rioting and nothing changed, that's worse. Like, you get how that's worse, right?
Carry on this burden.
His deep state master. Wait, hold on! You just told me in Discord not like 2 hours ago that the deep state has already lost, that they all got arrested or whatever. So you're just so incomprehensibly stupid, dude. I'm sure the jury wasn't intimidated at all. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Do you know anybody in the jury? Like, does it matter to you that much? Or do you think that there wasn't, you know, like he shouldn't have been convicted? Like, what are you saying, kid? What are you saying? I'm sure the jury wasn't intimidated at all. What is that, like, what is the purpose of that speculation? Are you trying to say that he shouldn't have been convicted? Because, you know, if that's true, then I'm sorry, you're a dumb fuck. There's nobody that looked at that incident and said that he should not. No, the people who were saying that he shouldn't be convicted were always using stupid ass reasons, being like, well, he did point a gun at a pregnant woman's belly once, and he used to do drugs, and so since he wasn't like the paragon of like the perfect human to ever exist or anything, then I don't know if he, you know, I don't know if he didn't have it. Like, yeah, fuck you guys. You guys are so fucking stupid. Like, can you imagine? Wouldn't you be? What I don't know what you're asking me, bud. I need you to tell me what the hell you're trying to say. Are you trying to say, because with or without intimidation, right? Just looking at the facts of the case, watching that video, knowing everything about what happened, yeah, I'm thinking he should have been convicted. So I just want to know what the purpose. I think he was guilty of manslaughter. He held him down when he was in distress, not of murder. Okay, they didn't convict him of first-degree murder. It was second-degree unintentional murder. Although it might have been murder. Yes, it was a murder. It was, now it is certified by the court to be a second-degree unintentional murder. So, I don't know what else to say about that, other than it has been determined by a jury of his peers that he did murder the guy, 1,000,000%. And I don't think anybody said, no one seriously said that he wasn't murdered. Nobody said that George Floyd wasn't murdered. Everybody was that was justifying it was saying that, yeah, he was murdered, but maybe he had it coming. That kind of shit. Fucking, oh, fucking bitch. I don't know. I think that it's they did know each other and worked together in a sleazy bar known for drug dealing, and they both acted in porn movies. Were all 3 counts murder? No, not all 3 counts were murdered, and I don't really care about all of that. I was just saying that when you're talking about the events that led up to that, you know, even independent of all that extra stuff, it was still just. I think that the charges were good, and I think that yeah, he was definitely guilty, 100%. But no, not all 3 counts were murder. I think one of them was murder, and one of them was like homicide, or like negligent homicide, like a manslaughter type of thing. Hang on, I just had it pulled up. Okay, second-degree manslaughter. So it was second-degree manslaughter. The charges were third-degree murder, second-degree. Okay, so it was second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. And he was convicted of all 3. The motive is the question. The riots were because of racism, right? I think it was it was just. I don't think it was just racism. It was like criminal justice inequality in general that black people face, worse punishments. They're just treated worse by the criminal justice system in general, and I'm pretty sure that that's what the protests were about. The riots were white college kids going into different towns, going across different towns and trying to burn down a Target or a fucking torch a car dealership so they can virtue signal to all their friends about how fucking woke they are. But the protests, which had black people in it, those were based as fuck, talking about how the criminal justice system was fucking over black people disproportionately. Held him down while he was in distress, manslaughter, but I don't the mob that assumed racially motivated and what the media pushed was justified. Okay. I don't think that that Derek Chauvin was like racially motivated. You do understand the difference between racism and systemic racism, right? Systemic racism means that the system can be biased against black people without any any individual racist actors. You don't have to have racists in the system in order for it to be racist. So like whether or not Derek Chauvin is a racist is irrelevant to the question. He was the tool that killed George Floyd in a system that is racist, for sure. And that doesn't require any racist actors to be involved. I don't know, a lot of people don't understand what the difference is between racism and systemic racism. It's fucking stupid. There was plenty of looting that was going on, lots of violence, 40 murders and countless injuries. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. That was a year ago, and a lot of the rioting was really fucked up. Some of it was okay, like I said, those dudes that went over and torched police cars and shit, based and not cringe. They were pissed off at the cops, and that seems to be a good way to send that message, is to go burn a police car. Or that one police station that was occupied, I don't know if they called that the Chaz or whatever, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That wasn't the case. It appeared to be that, but I don't think it was. They know each other. Riots were not justified. Okay. I will say some of them, sure. The ones where they go and the one where they go and torch a fucking a Target or like an AutoZone or something is probably pretty stupid. But like where they are rioting against the criminal justice system, and the tools of the criminal justice system are the cops. So for them to be to riot against public institutions like police stations and police cars and shit like that, yeah, fuck it. I mean, go ahead. Like that's the most American thing you can do. They caused $2 billion in damages, claiming racism. Good. They knew each other, both involved in drugs and underworld. They knew each other for 17 years. I don't care. Do not care. I could not care less. It is completely irrelevant to me. If they knew each other before, if they didn't know each other before. In fact, the knowing each other before thing kind of, bolsters the argument that race may have played a part in it. All I'm saying is that it's irrelevant, is that Derek Chauvin was the tool in a systemically racist system that took the life of George Floyd. Period. That's just... and the court seems to agree with me on that. I'm not saying the verdict is wrong. I'm saying the rioting was unjustified. Okay, whatever, dude. I don't know what else that they could have possibly have done. I mean, like if the rioting, like I don't understand how it wasn't proven to be racism. That's a choice, but they knew each other. The media and Dems portrayed it as a racial shooting. No one portrayed it as a shooting. I don't know what you're talking about. And yes, they did. It is a fact. Cool. They did not cause 2 billion in damage falsely. Dude, you are so stupid. Chill, okay? It is a proven fact that the U.S. criminal justice system disproportionately affects black people, okay? George Floyd was black. Derek Chauvin was a tool of the racist criminal justice system, and he was killed very unjustly, extremely gruesomely on camera over the course of 9 minutes and 29 seconds, and it was just so beyond any kind of justification. And so yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say these riots were unjustified, because I don't know, they didn't check the necessary criteria for all of my personal tastes. That's dumb. They weren't. They were pushed by the media and the left with evidence, without evidence. Yes, they did. I have no idea what you're talking about. They were 40 deaths. Yep. Riots are messy. That kind of shit happens. Sorry to say. In the American Revolution, I'm sure that at least 40 people died during the American Revolution, but I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you know what? Those riots were not justified because they didn't, fit the criteria for whatever. Okay, George Floyd had done some heinous things himself. Don't care. Totally irrelevant. I said he was guilty, but it wasn't proven to be racism. Whatever, dude. At this point, nothing will ever prove to you that it was racism. People can. There's just nothing that can be done. You're lost. You just don't want it to be racism, and that's fine. You can just go live in a bubble. During the unjustified riots, but I don't agree with the verdict. But I don't disagree with the verdict. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to say. You can say, I think that you're conflating a bunch of things. You're not understanding that I am not saying that Derek Chauvin was racially motivated in killing George Floyd. I don't even think that Derek Chauvin meant to kill George Floyd. I don't think he intentionally killed him. So that's not what he was convicted of. He was convicted of unintentional murder, right? So he didn't intend to kill him. So obviously it wasn't racism that motivated the killing. But Derek Chauvin represents a tool of systemic injustice in the United States that has a racial bent. They rioted over a speculation of the motive. No, they didn't. They did not. Okay, dude, whatever. You're lost. I don't know how many times, I don't know how many different ways I can explain this. But just because, okay, you don't have to have racist actors egged on by the media and left leaders. Yeah, because we agree and we understand. I don't know, I'm not for violent riots, but at least they are allowed to protest in some way. You don't really want to live in a country that doesn't allow any protest. Yeah. Protesting is based in not cringe. Also rioting, too, though. Whenever I'm talking about rioting, I'm not talking about going into an apartment complex and burning down people's houses and going and stealing all their shit or whatever. I'm talking about if you are mad at a particular public institution, it's fine to go torch a police car if you're pissed off with the cops. If you're mad at the court system, then, it's fine to go and torch a fucking courthouse or whatever. It's fine. Says who? Have you ever looked at crime statistics? Oh, believe me, I know that you're going to put your finger to your chin and go, 1350, and whatever. We've been down that road a million times. It's a really boring argument and it doesn't fucking mean anything. I'm not going to sit around here and tell you that it's not true. I'm just saying that there's more to it than just being black people are just genetically predisposed to committing crimes or some dumb shit like that, dude. They didn't know they assumed. They didn't assume anything. They made him a hero, and he didn't deserve to die. But the riots and adulation, I don't agree with. Have you ever looked at crime statistics? Yes. Why no hubbub over the dozens shot and killed in every big city every day of the week? All right. If you think, okay, dude, if you think that the murder of George Floyd was in any way comparable to like any other instance of police brutality, like you're just lost, dude. Like that right there was particularly egregious. Like that right there was beyond any kind of justification. The only thing that people had in order to justify it was the only thing people had to justify it was just go, well, he was no angel, and yeah, dude, that's fucking stupid. It doesn't, that argument doesn't hold up, because I'm sure that you've done some bad things, but if the cop ever held you down and kneeled on the back of your fucking head for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, I'd be pretty pissed off at the cops. I wouldn't sit here and be like, well, Guacamole Kid kind of had it coming because, you know, he fucking raped 12 children like a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever. Like, I wouldn't sit here and say, yeah, the cop definitely should have, in a completely unrelated event, just kneeled on the back of your fucking head for almost 10 minutes. Like, yeah, that argument's fucking dumb. I agree. It was white leftists who started most of the fires. I don't understand. Really, what did they say? What did they say? I think there was a good chance it was personal. They both knew each other for 14 years and both participated in the Minneapolis Underground. Okay, that doesn't change anything. Derek Chauvin was given the authority by the state to physically intervene with a person. Okay, this requires that you have certain restrictions in place. That doesn't mean that they can just go around killing people. And so he was given this power by the state, and so that allowed him to kneel on George Floyd's head for almost 10 minutes right there in front of people who didn't have the power to stop him physically. Like, they would be arrested, or some kind of consequence would befall them if they were to have intervened. They had to just sit there and watch him get killed. So yeah, it's just not even close. I didn't say it was right. I think he's guilty. Motive: the riots were for racism. Yes, the riots were for racism. No one's disputing this. I have no idea what you're trying to say. No one said that the riots were not for racism. It was against systemic injustice on the part of the criminal justice system, and the cops are part of the criminal justice system. They are the tools of the criminal justice system. Racism, like, it's really simple. I don't understand how this is hard to understand. I don't get how this is a difficult concept to grasp. It's really, really simple. Like, do you know what systemic racism means? Like, I wonder if you can explain that, because I can. Like, systemic racism is when you have, you know, a system that is biased against people, and it disproportionately affects a group of people. And it doesn't require racists to be involved. Everyone involved can be not racist, but then if a person, yeah, wait, so they rioted before justice could happen. Okay, so a cop kills a black man in the streets by kneeling on the back of his fucking head for almost 10 minutes, and everybody's supposed to go, well, that was fucked. I guess we'll see how the trial ends up before we have anything to say about it. I'm like, get out of here, dude. George Floyd is dead. It's like, yeah, I'm sure that he's happy that you know, Derek Chauvin got convicted and everything, but I don't know. Or George Floyd is too busy being dead to give a shit about any of that. It's just, yeah, I don't know. There's really not a whole lot that could, whatever. Justice did happen and they rioted for no reason. Oh, okay. So now it's no reason. First, you were saying that people were rioting because, well, it wasn't really racism, and now it's justice. Well, they should have waited to riot, but now justice did happen. Like, you don't understand, dude. You just don't understand that it's not about the conviction, because George Floyd already got killed, right? So Derek Chauvin is going to suffer the consequences of the legal system for committing that action, but he's not going to. But that's not going to bring George Floyd back. That's not going to implement the changes. A little girl was shot by a gang member. Why are you I assume you mean why aren't? A little girl was shot by a gang member. Why aren't you protesting that? What do you? Okay, wait. What are you supposed to protest? I would really like to know. What are we supposed to protest? They probably rioted not only for that one case, but against the whole system in general. Yes, Magic Pink Horse has successfully rephrased exactly what I was trying to explain in a way that maybe Guacamole Kid might be able to just like extend himself to around 75 IQ in order to be able to understand what the fuck I'm trying to say. And yes, people get killed all the time. A little girl being shot by a gang member doesn't represent a systemic problem. Well, I mean, I guess it does, but you're not going to, but it comes down to the drug war. We need to, the drug war and all that shit. That's what it boils down to. They push that for political purposes. No shit! Like, duh! Yes! They pushed it for political purposes because they want change. Systemic change. That requires politics. That requires representatives to vote in a certain way. So, duh. Oh shit, I was gaming. They read it for no reasons, just it was sheathed and the other way around. I have no idea. I'm saying he's guilty. Okay, cool, then we're on the same page. We're on the same page there. He's absolutely guilty. And the the criminal justice system in the United States is absolutely 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt. It is demonstrably the case that it is biased against black people. Like, we know this for a fact. And so yeah. And that's what the riots were about. Not the riots. That's what the protests were about. The riots, were hit and miss. Sometimes it was privileged white college kids that wanted to go burn something down so they could fucking write their research paper about how, oh, I participated in the protest or the riots or whatever, and here was my experience with systemic racism or some dumb shit like that. But, some of them were, let's go torch this fucking police car because we're pissed off with the cops. Oh, look at that. They abandoned their police station. We're going to occupy that shit. Yeah, I took it back, or something like that. Like, that shit's base as fuck. Going in, I don't know, torching a Walmart is fucking stupid as shit, but whatever. That's stupid as shit. So the riots were hit and miss, but the protests were absolutely on point every time. And some of the riots were okay, too. Like, you just can't deny that shit. It's just a fact at this point. Way more systemic problem. In 2019, there were 9 whites killed by cops. Okay? Do you not see the problem with that number? Do you not see the problems with this? You're just furiously Googling literally every talking point you can find. Wonderful. Awesome. Do you not see the problem? Guacamole Kid, do you not see the problem with an equal number of white people being killed by the cops as black people? Actually, was there any change in legislature in U.S. after this case? I honestly don't know. I am not entirely sure. Look at the murder and assault rates. Then they helped burn their cities down. The riots were a way overall bigger crime, more death and suffering caused by the riots. Okay. Riots are messy, dog. I'm not saying that they're not. So to get justice, they burned and murdered. We should riot against the spoiled ass rioters. Okay, yeah, dude, you know what? You know what? Go right ahead. Get out there and do your thing. God bless you. Then maybe Guacamole Kid may actually have a point. Like, riots should have achieved systematic change, but they didn't. No, I just don't know. I just don't know if anything changed. But that's the thing. Actually, no, that's worse. If they did all that rioting and nothing changed, that's worse. Like, you get how that's worse, right? That we have a criminal justice system that disproportionately affects black people. We had a particularly egregious case happen on video, which then spurred riots, and then nothing changed. Like, if nothing changed, I don't know if they did or not. I haven't looked into it, but I like, that's worse. They use black people to achieve their political purposes. Oh God, here we go. I can hear the echoes in that comment, dude. Like enough of that. They. What political purposes would that be? I would really like to know what political purposes. Oh no, they're using black people to say that the criminal justice system is biased against black people. Big surprise. Amazing. Like, any political power uses race groups for its purposes. Like, it uses everybody for its purposes. The point of a representative democracy is for representatives to represent their constituents, okay? So they're going to use literally everyone and any reasoning anyone provides and any, like, issue that they're having a problem with to serve in their best interest, because the whole goal is to get reelected, and if you're not representing your constituents, then you don't get reelected. I thought I had a fucking miscellaneous. The funny thing is that city is no shit. All cities, all large cities are run by Democrats, okay? All large cities are run by Democrats, okay? All of them. I don't know of any large cities run by, you know, if you put a number of population onto large city, and I'm pretty sure we can come up, it would be mostly Democrats anyway. Nor insight, what a dumb fuck. Because, like, if you go to like, I don't know, Oklahoma, our large city in Oklahoma is Tulsa, and there's like 600,000 people in it, okay? So it doesn't even come close to these large cities with like 1 million people in it or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Like, I wonder what it's supposed to say when they're like, yeah, but that city's run by Democrats. Because the Republicans, I guess, would do it so much better. Because nothing ever fucked up happens in Republican places. Or are the Republican places just really fucking small, and so nothing ever happens there ever? I think the problem is that the U.S. political system is actually very unrepresentative, therefore undemocratic. Like, it's just two right-wing parties. No. No. That's not true, okay? It's not true. I know that this is like a lefty meme to sit around and just be like, huh, there actually is no left, and it's just not true. Because, like, then that leads people to say that dumb fucking bullshit that, like, huh, Biden and Trump are basically the same thing, just with a D and an R. Like, the only difference is what they call themselves, and it's bullshit. That's bullshit. There could not be more of a difference. When you're talking about, like, education or immigration even, like, there is plenty of differences. I know that Biden is not going to implement a fucking like socialist takeover, and we're not going to murder all of the landlords in the street, and we're not going to abolish billionaires, and we're not going to literally exile all the police from the entire state, and we're just going to be an anarcho-communist utopia tomorrow. I understand that Biden is not that different. And you know, there are lefties who are politically ignorant enough to believe that if Biden's not going to do all that shit, then he's basically just like Trump. And it's like, cool. I don't pay attention to those people very much because those people don't even fucking vote. Okay, so if you don't vote, then you are irrelevant. That's all there is to it. Fuck them. But anyway, yes. But then again, you know, Biden is getting in there and he's getting that representation in there. He's been getting all kinds of the POC and all that in offices and appointing all those people to power. So we're getting pretty close to being representative. Oh no.
We are moving forward, and Minnesotans.
He's a tool of the far left.
Let's carry on this burden.
His deep state master. Wait, hold on! You just told me in Discord not like 2 hours ago that the deep state has already lost, that they all got arrested or whatever. So you're just so incomprehensibly stupid, dude. Like, you don't have any coherent ideology. You just say words. That's what I was trying to tell you. I think it was yesterday when we had our little talk. Like, dude, it's incomprehensible. He's a tool of the far left. Please. You do realize that leftists hope that. He's fucking up the border. Gas price is going to go through the roof. He's fucking senile, or freaking senile, and none of his ideas are good. Now let's go riot. Good. Go riot, dude. Go riot, okay? You got a right to just go do it. Whatever. Knock yourself out, bro. And the cops are going to come over and they're going to knock you on your silly ass, and then we're all going to be able to laugh at it. It's because you're, you know, we made you think it was racism. Yep, that's it. Yep, I've been bamboozled. I've looked at all of the data and everything telling me, and I've read so much, and I've looked at all these studies that show that accounts for literally everything, and the only thing left is race. And yes, yeah, the right haven't burned cities down. Ha ha! There had to have been a right-wing riot of some kind. I wonder what kind of like riot would have happened. I don't know, somewhere around like the Capitol on like, I don't know, January, let's say 6th. You know, somewhere within that 24-hour period, there may have been some kind of riot which resulted in the deaths of people. Man, I wonder. Shit.